Ladies and gentlemen, a week before the burial of the Field Marshal Mukami, the home of Maina Njenga, the former leader of the Mungiki sect, the homes were raided. And after the morning raid, the family and the home guards raised the alarm. And the Star was the first, I remember, was the first media house to release that story. But police would later come out and disown that the fact that they had raided Maina Njenga's home. The following week, that was highly linked to a mobilization that Maina Njenga was mobilizing youths to welcome Raila Odinga in the said burial. And so, true to that, Raila attended the burial alongside Maina Njenga and other new leaders from the Mount Kenya. But after that, 2 weeks later, the Maina Njenga will then receive summons that police are looking for him under an allegation that during the said raid that police disowned, they had captured some consignment of, I think, some bangi or something. And so they were looking for him. But after realizing that, he presented himself in DCI headquarters along Kiambu Road. But as the norm, some youths were mobilized themselves, and they were milling around the DCI headquarters. At that time, they were showing solidarity with Maina Njenga. And because of the scuffle, bit of them there, a number of them were arrested, but they will later be released by the OCS when Rigathi Gachagua will then come out and say and slam the OCS for releasing these youths. The young people that milled around DCA headquarters are the people that are being used, are being profiled as Mungiki. And I've said many times in this channel that government mkono yake ni mrefu. And if it is about smoking a Mungiki sect, that cannot take them even 2 hours. But truth be told, there is a narrative that was created of re-emergence of Mungiki. And these are the young people that appeared there. When Matiang'i was arrested, there were some people that were mobilized. They were not called Mungiki. Truth be told. And this has been a norm. Even when Anne Waiguru was facing the NOS charges, she mobilized people, and these people escorted her around, were milling around the Integrity House. Those people are not Mungiki. When Rigathi Gachagua was arrested, when he was a Medera MP and was taken to DCI, the same group, he mobilized the same group of young people to show solidarity with him. They were never profiled as Mungiki. And today, the discussion has changed. Kenya Kwanza has created a narrative from the moon. And in the mind of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and William Ruto, the President, they are now addressing a non-existing problem. Ladies and gentlemen, today I've tried to put up some few calls to talk to my friends from the mountain. And I just want to, is there really an emergence of Mungiki? Where are they? Where are they? Who have you arrested? None. Now I've listened to the president today speaking in Kirinyaga, saying the way there will be no re-emergence of Mungiki in this country to not be allowed. There is nothing like that. But you've chosen to play the people's emotions for no reason. There is nothing like that. Now I want to say this. The intention of this narrative by William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua it is juxtaposed with this new euphoria about illicit brew. And I just want to make this confession here because it doesn't change anything. My mother brewed changa, and I was partly brought up with it, what is called illicit brew, until we decided to not. It can be defined at many instances. I saw Gachagua while he was in Mary unleashing police to go and destroy. Okay, we did Busa, and Busa is a traditional. Ours was Busa, not Changa Busa. It's a tradition, just like there is Muratina. And mothers Muratinas because in a Mwago, where some of those things are done by, I was so shocked. Ultimately, at the campaign trail, the problem of the youth was unemployment and the fact that they can be involved in business. Immediately Ruto came into power, the Mungiki discussion has been designed to redefine the youth problem as not an income problem, but as an radicalization and alcohol abuse. Alcohol abuse is a problem in the mountain, but it is a behavioral problem that does not just come from one aspect. According to me, it is a society. This is what I've been getting, that it is a society breakdown. And what has made it perpetuated through is, one, there are those who go to school, and it's not just Mount Kenya province, it's across the country. There are those who go to school, they get their way through it, and yes, they go to school, get to college, and they are a bit privileged. Their parents get their way and get it. But you also find a situation where when people, the parents, some of the parents are soaked in alcohol abuse, so they cannot provide fatherhood for the children. Some mothers that are taking care of the children are even overwhelmed, and that is why you'll even find out that in a family of 6 children, the first 1, 2, 3 are just fine, but the last 2 are chini. You find out they're the ones that are getting into alcohol, because at the parenthood, una realize it's only the mother who was playing the role. Now, those who have their way to get through church, and that's why church is a very strong institution in the mountain. That's why it was lightly used for politics. Will easily get their way. So it's more as a bigger problem that apart from society breakdown, it's also an income problem. And truth be told, the young people we are profiling about now, we promised jobs. It is the young people that when we are saying and we are telling their parents, the problem is not that they don't have jobs. The problem is that they're in alcohol. And I remember listening to the guy saying that he's fighting alcohol abuse so that when he brings the jobs, then the young people will be working. I looked at it and I said, oh my goodness, for how long are you going to spin this story? These were the hustlers that when they were being given wheelbarrows, were the alcohol not a problem? When the Gachagua went and picked the microphone and said that police, when you find someone drunk, taking to his wife, not to the police station, did we think about alcohol abuse? And I can tell you, there's no track record, and the president, William Ruto and Gachagua, has designed a new narrative. Is now spinning the challenge, the Mount Kenya problem, not to be an income problem, not to be the fact that dynasty versus hustler. It is about alcohol abuse, and that is emotionally to whip the women. And I can tell you, in the fullness of time, that will be listed as one of the achievements of Kenya Kwanza. Someone going to look at it whether it was part of the plan. It is a noble cause, but it is redefining youth problem in a specific way. Secondly, William Ruto wants to separate Maina Njenga and Raila Odinga. And that is why he's bringing in the non-existing Mungiki thing. And the Mungiki thing is something that is a scarecrow to kushtua watu, it's something that people know what it was back then. So that is the second intention why this is being brought. And lastly is to eject William Ruto from the political place. Now, I've listened at Uhuru's rebuttal. Uhuru's response to this is what Raila is saying. And they are saying that the youths that allegedly you are profiling as Mungiki, they need a deal, not a bullet. And what Uhuru is telling William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua is that these are the youths you promised jobs. However much you might spin the problem, I don't believe that when there was kazi mtaani, is it true? A number of people from Nyeri, Murang'a, or Kiambu, did they work there because they were all drunk? Is it? They worked. Now, we don't have even rehabilitation centers. And we are bragging about we are going to take people from alcohol. At least this is a behavioral problem that does not take policing. You cannot unleash police on people to stop drinking. There is another orthodox way of reducing the number of clubs. When you reduce the number of clubs, do you want to tell me that the alcohol is about unavailability? They will start hiding in the bushes and they will be taking, you are going to give avenues for the illicit stuff. The stories of people will be picking in the bush as drinking, dying there, because they are also drinking to evading the police dragnets. It's going to be a total mess if the thing is not addressed is a system. And that is why my good friends from Mount Kenya have gave me a message to Raila Odinga. And I wish my good friends within Azimio think tanks can listen to this message. This is the platform I have to share this. And they're telling me that Raila must ignore the Mungiki trap by William Ruto by all means and keep off that discussion because of these three reasons. William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua, when they successfully profile Uhuru and Raila as the people behind it, while the truth is it is non-existing, there is nothing going on like Mungiki, they can even plant goons in the street, in those areas, to wreak havoc and blame it on Raila Odinga and unleash a team, some police to go and, to go and control the area and take that as a political narrative to blame it on Azimio side. That's what I've been told. That it is true there is nothing like Mungiki in Mount Kenya. But when this discussion is entertained and this narrative will sink, government can do anything. The state can, during mass action, see there was some number of youths, goons were unleashed on the street and we saw even buses being banned. And in desperate push for power, because the Mount Kenya question is one that is not very easy, they can unleash the goons on the street, on the villages, and wreak havoc, and get some very few scenes, or very disturbing scenes, then blame it on Azimio la Umoja, on Raila Odinga, and with the emotions of the parents there, that the Mungiki thing is a reality. Because again, as now, the whole country is asking, where are these people you're calling Mungiki? Have you arrested them? Where are they? It is something that can be unleashed. Number two, Rigathi Gachagua is going to face a mother of all rejection and backlash in the manner of illicit brew. That's number two reason why Raila must avoid this discussion. And in that looming backlash, it's going to backlash because number one, the youths might be harassed by security, by the police officers, turn against it. The bar owners I've just seen the numbers been reduced to 6,000, are losing income. And they're even on record opposing what Rigathi Gachagua is saying, because there's some bars that are now being closed in Kiambu, in Murang'a. There was that story about some people are even bribing to get the license while some have been locked down. Well, not all those bars are selling illicit brew, while the licensed bar owners are selling the real alcohol. But you're trying to control the market in the guise of controlling illicit brew. And because there's going to be a backlash on illicit brew and coffee reforms, what at one point the same non-emergent group can still be planted, and when that erupts, it can still blame that it's Raila Odinga that's stopping Rigathi Gachagua from the whole thing, while the whole thing is doomed to collapse. That's number two. Number three, Mount Kenya can erupt in protest anytime over Ruto's rule, because the face of betrayal will be felt in the mountain. And because this can be possible, in fact, I was telling me that, Kevin, there's some places here that I wanted to cheerleaders, ring leaders, but if they can get ring leaders like the Nuru Okangas, they can shock the country. They can all go on streets. The MCAs are looking for salary increment. Mount Kenya MCAs are leading, nearly threatened to shut down. Same to Kiambu, same to Nakuru. So because Mount Kenya can also erupt, Raila should keep off, because the same Mungiki thing can be planted and it will be blamed that there is no protest in Mount Kenya, it is Mungiki. Someone challenge me. Someone challenge what the message from the mountain. I do believe, and I honestly believe, let Raila Odinga send lawyers to represent Maina Njenga when Maina Njenga is going through all this. Let that battle be kept off. But to try to delink and not even respond to William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua, because there is nothing like that. It is a narrative being floated selfishly for some political capital, and it is a trap being set. When someone will be seeing some failure, it will be unleashed and then blamed on you. So that's my take. I believe some think tank should get this to Raila Odinga. I think even Alai had been saying that Azimio needs to keep off that discussion about Mungiki. It's non-existent. It's just a political story for the day. That's my take.